Empire. The NFT boom, it has not gone bust.
It's going to be a 100-year product, and it's a new way of consuming and owning this data, really, this video content and sharing with fans. So in terms of the ceiling at the moment, I still think we're very, very early on.
That's Alexi Yovanoff, co-founder of SportsIcon, where the expansion of the offerings, it's limitless. This is the Future Sport Podcast. I'm Bram Weinstein. We're about to crown a couple of new champions in hockey and basketball. The biggest winner in all of sports since the start of the pandemic, though, arguably could be the emergence of the digital collectible marketplace. NBA Top Shot exploded in investment interest and ultimately demand. And now the diversification begins with a new exploding market, and it's tricky, especially when it comes to athletes interested in making new items to sell on a digital marketplace with rights and branding as core issues. Our guest this week is one of the co-founders of SportsIcon, a new sports-focused NFT company in that exploding market, Alexi Yovanoff. Thanks for joining us, Alexi.
Hi, Bram. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Your timing is right for NFTs. What got you interested in this marketplace?
Chris and I have been looking at the NFT and the crypto world for many, many years now, starting back in 2017 with CryptoKitties and Roham, and we've both been very, very much interested in sports. And then we had a little something called a pandemic sometime last year that we're still all fighting through at the moment, and that gave us a bit of time for reflection. And Chris and I have always been we're signed up to places like Masterclass, for example, and we really enjoy that very high quality content. But I think we thought it was very much just a one-way traffic, from your screen outwards, and we wanted to help make a connection between the fans back into the content as well. So that was a bit of the inspiration to SportsIcon.
All right, so let's just talk broadly about the marketplace for a moment, which has absolutely exploded over the last year. NBA Top Shot has just zoomed upward in popularity and investment. And there are obviously a lot of athletes and teams and leagues that are looking very, very closely at this. So can you kind of talk about, first, I would assume you think there's still a major upward trajectory here, and what the ceiling looks like for the NFT sports industry?
Yeah, well, I think NFTs are here to stay. It's going to be a 100-year product, and it's a new way of consuming and owning this data, really, this video content and sharing with fans. So in terms of the ceiling at the moment, I still think we're very, very early on. We had this huge wave back in, I guess it was February, March. Maybe we're having a little bit of a recalibration at the moment, but I think after this little lull is over, things will be picking up again in the next few months. And I think NFTs are here to stay. It's a new way of consuming content and owning content.
Largely, as you look at the marketplace, is this for collectors? Is this for enthusiasts? Is this for investors? Who in the end is the target audience that you think will have the staying power as we kind of get through this blip and downturn in the interest in it?
I think it's a mixture of all of them, to be honest. The consumers that will be purchasing our products, they are sports fans, but they're also NFT art collectors as well. And it's the opportunity to own kind of rare digital art editions and very stumbling a bit here. Sorry about that. It's the opportunity to own these kind of rare digital art editions, but with inspirational, unlockable content as well. So, and I think our USP, Bram, is that we're not just interested in the art side as well. Really, I think our USP really is that we want to get up close and personal with these athletes and actually film with them one-on-one as well to create this very kind of immersive, high-quality content for the fans, but also as well appeal to the sports memorabilia collectors as well. I mean, I saw that you had you tweeted something out not long ago, and it was I think it was the Babe Ruth card.
Yeah.
And just the idea of someone having, we're living in a digital world now, and this is the way that a lot of these kind of sports memorabilia items, they are going to be digitized. And the idea of someone being able to own something which is as important as that Babe Ruth card in 30, 40, 50 years' time, 60 years' time, but actually also for it to be a little bit deeper than just a card, to be able to imagine if that card actually came with Babe Ruth sharing some knowledge or sharing some insights or some of his inspirations or etc. I think that's a very powerful product.
Yeah, the card that you're referencing recently became the highest grossing sale of a sports card in the history of the United States. It was a rookie card from 1914 featuring Babe Ruth in the minor leagues, and there's only one of what they believe are 10 in existence, and it was in great condition, and it's staying in a museum there. It is also a tangible item. Can you kind of take me through the idea of the modern fan, the modern collector, who does look at this and knows that they're never going to hold this in their hand, and yet it has the type of value that we're all talking about and speaking about?
Yeah, well, it's all about the rarity of the item, the authenticity of the item, the fact that it has been authenticated by the athlete. I mean, on our platform, they are curated by the athletes as well. We have we require a lot, input from our athletes, a lot of input into our athletes to help create this end product. It's a collaborative process, but also intertwined with that. There are tangible items as well. For example, giveaways, or we have an auction going on at the moment, and the winner of that auction will actually get flights to Madrid and tickets for VIP tickets for a Real Madrid match, and a meet and greet with Roberto Carlos during that event. So I think ultimately there will be, a merge of the two worlds, really.
That's interesting. So you guys are kind of packaging some of this with experiential moments as well, you might be buying something that's in the virtual world, but it will be packaged with a real life experience that might be unique as well.
Correct. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we think that's very, very important in terms of providing that experience to sports fans as well. It's not just a one-way thing. It does also provide. You do have the ownership of this extremely rare item, which will never be replicated, but also packaged with that this experience of the match or whatever it might be, the fight or the hockey game or the NBA game, whatever it might be as well.
This episode is brought to you by HP Plus. In a world full of smart devices, shouldn't your printer be smart too? It is with HP Plus. These printers know when they're running low, so you always get the ink you need delivered right when you need it. Plus, you save up to 50% on ink, so you can print whatever you want, as much as you want, anytime you want. Huh, that is pretty smart. Get 6 free months of instant ink when you choose HP Plus. Conditions apply. Visit hp.com/smart for details.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about, and it sounds like what's important to you as you've navigated this and entered this with SportsIcon is scarcity will matter. That you're going to fight an urge here to make 100 of these digital collectibles, that the one of one is going to really matter here down the road.
Scarcity will matter. I think the 1 of 1, the 1 of 10, the 1 of 100, they are obviously much more limited editions that will also intrinsically have a higher value. But what we also want to do is we don't want to lock out of this experience your kind of your everyday sports fan who maybe isn't going to go and spend and join these auctions and pay huge amounts of money. So it has to be a product that's available to the mass market as well. So in terms of editions, they will be capped. If you can look at someone like NBA Top Shot, they do some editions that have 10,000, for example. And then what we can intertwine with that into ours are these experiences for a few holders of the NFTs that might be priced a lot lower. The average sports fan in America has said that they would spend about $99 on a piece of digital memorabilia for one of their sports heroes or their favorite athletes. So, it's important to us that these guys and girls can access this material as well.
Take me a little bit through rights. Obviously, this has been an emerging marketplace. It's happened very fast. Top Shot clearly already has a relationship with the NBA to use their material. How are you thinking about navigating all of the different rights issues with all of these different leagues throughout the world?
So because NBA Top Shot operate very much on this macro level, and they have the rights with the leagues. We operate very much on a micro level, up close and personal with the athletes. So in terms of rights, what does that mean for us? It means that we only really need the rights from the athletes. Because we are creating our own content and creating our own IP, we don't have any problems or interference from the leagues in terms of rights. It's just we have the buy-in from the athletes, and as we're creating our own IP and our own unique content, that's all we need.
So that's interesting because I'll go back to the Rob Gronkowski drop that occurred not that long ago. He did something original. There was no literal Patriots or Buccaneers branding on the stuff that he did. However, it was a recreation of moments that he had on the field. So do you see a friction point coming where they're looking at this and saying, okay, I get you didn't use our trademarked logos, but everybody knows what this is. And how do you kind of navigate that as you move forward?
Well, I think we need to differentiate it enough, to be honest. So we have, the artistic license to change things around. They need to be different enough from, let's say, a famous moment, but also we are filming one-on-one with these guys and girls. So, we will be creating our own unique content through filming with them as well. It's not just about the art. The art for us is probably, it's maybe 25% of what we're doing as a whole. The filming of it probably makes up another 25-30% of it. So, yeah.
All right. So you've been, as you mentioned earlier, you and your partner, Chris, have been in this world for a while. Can you kind of take me through just the progression of it, what the early stages looked like, and maybe a little bit of why now? Why was the time now for this?
Well, I think it kind of comes back partly to what I mentioned earlier, in terms of our world and everyone's world was impacted by the pandemic that we have lived through and we are currently living through, and that allowed Chris and I to think about incorporating our ideas that we may not have had time to do before into something new and something exciting. So that's the initial concept. Was spurred on really by a conversation around masterclass, and that really high quality content and in delivering this high quality 4K in-depth content to our users and to the people that use our platform. And and then the iterations followed on from that, really, in terms of combining it with our interest in crypto that has gone back for so many years, and NFT. Like I said, this is something that started last July 2020, August 2020. So it was pre madness, but the NFT world was definitely on the way up then already.
Okay, I'll leave you with this. So there's a lot of competition now. There's a lot of people that are seeing the opportunity, leagues or startups like yourself or the athletes themselves as they try to find and navigate all of this. What do you think the differentiator is going to be for those who succeed at it?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think the differentiator really is going to be one of quality content. To be honest, we're not holding back whatsoever in our strive and our search for that quality content, keeping those levels high, those production levels high as possible, but also in terms of what is the future, what are the next iterations, what are the interesting things that we can do for the community, what is the community looking for in this product as well. So I think it's going to be one that is high quality, community driven, and iterative as well.
Alexi Yovanoff is one of the co-founders of SportsIcon. Thank you so much for joining us. On the next Future Sport podcast, speaking of having a vision, an indoor mountain is coming to greater Washington, D.C. soon.
The cool thing is it's real snow. It's the same snow lifts that you'll see at outdoor resorts. So it is truly a mountain experience indoors. It is meant to transition people to outdoor activities if that's what they want to do. So it's not made to replace the outdoor skiing and boarding experience. It's more to complement it.
That's John Emery, CEO of Alpine X, a group who is focused on turning winter sports into an all-year sport, while at the same time lowering the barrier for entry. That will do it for this episode. As always, the future is now. This is the Future Sport Podcast. I'm Bram Weinstein.